With multiple Emmy Awards for the titanic role of Walter White on Breaking Bad, a Tony Award for his electric Broadway debut in All the Way, and numerous stage and screen triumphs, Bryan Cranston is hailed as one of the greatest actors of our time. Audiences can now see his Tony-nominated performance as unraveling anchorman Howard Beale in the stage adaptation of Network. Hear about his Damn Yankees dreams, how he deals with unruly audience members, and more on this week's Show People. Mr. Cranston, I'm so happy you're here.
Wow, Paul.
I'll just call you Bryan.
Okay.
How's it going?
Good, man.
You're living the Broadway dream right now. I mean, you're in a big Broadway hit again. It's a good gig, right?
It's a great gig. It's a nice time.
I love this show so much. This is absolutely one of the highlights of the season for me. Your performance is one of those unforgettable performances. I was sitting really close.
Were you?
And it's a little terrifying. I mean, you're right there.
Did I accidentally spit on you in one of my speeches?
No, I didn't get any spit. That costs more,
does happen.
Right? Yeah. Special seats for that, right?
Yeah. It's like a splash zone when you go to SeaWorld.
Are you known for that? Are you a sprayer?
I can, because when I get a fevered pitch. Actually, can I tell a little story?
I would love a story.
Doing All the Way, and you have that ebb and flow relationship with the audience.
Yeah.
That actors talk about,
Yep.
and it's true. You're like, are they following us, and are we leading them and trying to tell this story for them? And so when you're on stage, you can feel an audience shift from left to right as they look at the different actors, as you look at the person you're working with, and then look back at you, and that's a normal movement. But what isn't normal is to see this, right? This, and all of a sudden I was catching that peripherally. And I was seeing this kid, dead center, first row, doing this, and I thought, I don't know, that it's catching my attention, and I have to see what's going on. So I broke the blocking, and I walked downstage, and I was still speaking, and I kind of thought and scratched my head like I'm looking down, and I see this kid with his iPhone in his lap, and he's doing this. And bump, 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 bump. And I'm a little embarrassed to say that it got to me. It started to make me a little angry. And I got a little angrier. And my cast was wondering why I was staying downstage so long. I had this speech. And I'm expectorating during this fevered speech.
LBJ had a lot to say.
And I could then see this kid going, I swear to God, he was like, oh. And I spat on another human being.
That is amazing.
Because I was upset. And it's funny now, but at the time I went, I let that kid get to me. I let that kid determine how I was going to play that character that night. And I got a little, I can't let that happen to me again. So it was kind of an odd feeling, to be honest.
So if you're on your phone, Patty LuPone will grab your phone, Bryan Cranston will spit
I'll spit on you. And you know what? I got to tell you, I mean, his parents were 2 seats away, and they knew what he was doing, and they're just...
It's horrible.
I think the civility in the theater has gone way down.
Yeah.
People in tank tops and flip-flops and munching on caramel corn and chatting and trying to, it's like, it's just rude, I think.
Well, you have screens all over the stage, so anyone looking for a screen to look at, there's plenty of multimedia on the set of Network, and there's a lot to sort of grab your attention in that production.
And part of the theme of Network is that we are addicted to our screens.
Yeah.
43 years ago, Patty Chayefsky wrote about only 3% of you people read books, only 15% read newspapers. We're all addicted to our television, the tube in those days.
Right.
And now the tube comes in our hand, and we're addicted to it, myself included. And when you're in the theater watching Network, Ivo van Hove and Jan Versweveld, who the designer, created this cacophony of visuals and sound that draw your attention on purpose.
Yeah, everybody needs to see it. I mean, it's incredible. And you can actually sit on stage. I was watching, there's people, there's seats.
Yeah.
Well, how are those people? They're drinking.
They're drinking.
Yeah, what's happening up there?
So in London, I was looking at a model of the stage, and I was asking Ivo and Jan, so there's a restaurant and a bar on stage.
Right.
I thought, this is curious. I know we had a few scenes in a restaurant and a bar. And I said, so are the acting company going to be seated here as background people during, oh no, in his Dutch accent, this is not good. No, what we will do is have normal people sitting there eating and drinking. And I said, before the play, no, this is not good. During play, drinking alcohol. Oh yes. And it's like, oh, well, okay. It's like a new version of, it's a very high class, high level dinner theater. Yeah. And I thought, this has got to be a terrible idea. I initially thought, this is a terrible idea. You have civilians on stage with actors eating and drinking. Yeah. And waiters serving and picking up. And
crazy things happen to them really close, too.
The reality is that there have been very few incidents.
Mm-hmm. You ever see any like Breaking Bad merch on people? Yeah, you do.
Yeah, people come with the Breaking Bad thing all the time. I'm grateful to be able to have this great job. Yeah. And I want to be able to meet with them and to say hello and to sign their playbills and things like that. But I don't sign any merchandise anymore.
Right. Howard Beale, iconic guy, iconic character. Yeah. We don't know that much about him. Have you invested a lot in what Howard Beale was like as a young guy and before he got mad as hell and before these events happened to him? Do you do that kind of work?
Yes, I do. I have to do a lot of sort of stream of consciousness writing, usually on a pad, just as a template of getting started in developing the foundation of a character. Right. Because whenever I start a character, it's always outside of me. It's somewhere out there. And I just feel that the more I work, the more I research, the more I imagine, the more I go back to the text, that the character comes a little closer the next time I look up. And at some point, I just trust that it's going to come inside. I put the welcome sign out, come on in. And then when he's in there, then we start thinking and feeling like Howard. And for me to develop Howard Beale from this iconic movie, and what Peter Finch did in the movie was brilliant. And I certainly didn't want to emulate him or be a derivative of him, which is worse, or copy or anything. But there was a sense of urgency and anger. And what I wanted to do, what I felt was being mad or angry, it's a result of something. Right. And I wanted to get to the first one. Is it being embarrassed? Is it being hurt emotionally? Are you in pain? And so I wanted to get down to the deepest level of Howard Beale to find out what triggered the anger. And that's what my focus was on.
I think it'd be so much fun to be in that world every night, and I think the journey that you've created for this character is just so interesting, and it just seems like it would actually be a fun ride to go on every night.
It is fun, but Paul, I'm telling you, I'm knackered. It's equally fun and exhausting. Yeah. But not at the same time. It's like fun, and the play is over, you take your bow, and you go, whoo. But that's the way it should be. Yeah. You should just go, turn the switch, go out there. Yeah. And give it everything, and then be exhausted every night. I would be wondering if I wasn't exhausted every night. Ooh, did I phone it in? Did I not do something that I should have done? I just expect to be exhausted.
Right. Well, you're not phoning it in, and let's give you a break. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more Bryan Cranston. Back with Mr. Bryan Cranston. I want to take you back to one of your early stage triumphs. Let's talk about The King and I. The King and I. That was at the Daytona Playhouse?
Daytona Playhouse in Daytona Beach.
That sounded like quite a performance.
Well, I was totally miscast for it, but they were desperate because their crawl-a-home.
Is that how you say it? I always know how to say that guy's name.
The King's right-hand man.
right, that guy.
Had left to go to another job. I mean, it was all community theater. Right. And I had a daytime job, And I thought I'd walk over to the theater and see, hey, I'm free at nights. Do you need some help backstage or something?
Yeah, yeah.
I walked in and he said, have you ever acted? And I went, well, yes. And he goes, good, you're in the play. And I'm, what? Okay. And my friend Louis Rigo put purple eyeshadow here and liner to try to.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm having difficulty even saying it
Right,
now.
I know.
But yeah, we put it on. Now, when I was taking the makeup off, it would leave this pink hue on my eyelids.
Right.
And I could not get that off. And I walk around town and I had this pink, it's like, what club are you dancing in? I gotta come see you.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta get this off. So Louis said, well, just put a thin layer of Vaseline on the eyelids, then put the makeup on, and it comes right off. It's like, perfect. So the first night, I well, how much Vaseline? Put Vaseline. Well, let me a little more Vaseline on there. Then I put the makeup on, and he was right. Now, King and I is a rather long play.
Yeah.
It just so happens, right in the scene when the king is dying,
Spoiler
alert for King and I.
It's the final moments.
Sorry.
Sad stuff.
Yes. So the king is dying, and the crawler home is blaming Anna. You have killed King.
Yeah.
You know, and she's, and
I could see how forceful that performance was.
Yes.
Yeah, you were good.
Yes.
Arms
akimbo.
Yeah.
And it was hot, and the stage was, and the Vaseline was starting to melt by this time in the stage. The Vaseline was actually creeping into my eyes on a consistent level. The viscosity was now like water, and it was dripping and dripping and dripping, which created
tears,
irritated eyes, and tears. At the most perfect opportunity. You have killed King! And tears are dropping from my face like a hose.
Right.
I could feel the audience going, oh, like this. And it was like, I was creating a puddle right next to the king. And it was pretty amazing. And so I just allowed myself to have a little more Vaseline and,
Have you ever gone back to that trick when you need to dredge up emotions?
Fortunately, I had not played any Siamese character since, and I probably won't in the future.
Yeah, don't. But yeah, you actually have flirted with musicals. There was talk a while ago you might do Damn Yankees, and I think you've done Damn Yankees. Did you
when you were
young?
The Summer Music Theater, it was summer stock I did in Florida as well, and just loved it. And at some point, it was like, I'd really like to play Applegate.
Yeah, you'd be great.
I really would. Yeah. So
is that still a maybe?
That's still a no. Here's why, Paul. It scares me.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm not a singer. With a lot of training and a lot of support from the company, I think I could get there if give me a couple years of really working it and training the voice. But it's scary to me, but often when I'm afraid of something, it's something that I lean into.
I feel like that's what you like. Yeah, I feel like you like getting scared.
Somewhat, yeah, I do.
You've done a lot of sort of like Neil Simon plays. You've done a lot of theater over the years.
Yeah.
But now you seem to take on really big risks. Can you see yourself doing something sort of a little, I don't want to say easier, but a little less intense?
I suppose that the characters that I'm really attracted to are really damaged.
Right.
And I do, because they have so many things to overcome.
Yeah.
So that is like a flame from this moth. But yes, I could see myself doing something less, all encompassing and physically demanding.
Right.
But it's all about the story. It's all about this. It always is and always will be about the writing.
Yeah.
That's the most important, fundamental element to performance art. And there is no alternative to that. I know that with every being that I have. It is everything. And so when you read something that moves you, that resonates, that is important, that says something socially, or even like a network, makes people angry or inciting, kind of stirring up emotions, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. If when people leave the theater, and that's any theater, if they continue to talk about what they just experienced you've really done well. You've really told a good story because it's on their minds.
You're right. Some shows I walk out of and I forget by the time I get to 8th Avenue, and I haven't
Right.
stopped thinking about Network in 5 months. So, success.
It really strikes
Yeah.
upon so many themes, and that's the same way I felt when I read the script.
Yeah.
Patty Chayefsky is brilliant and prescient. Lee Hall is incredibly talented, and he wrote beautiful supporting lines and connective scenes and a whole new scene. And he also wrote a coda at the very end of the play.
That's good stuff.
Yeah,
All right, we're going to take another break. We'll be back with more Bryan Cranston. We are back with Bryan Cranston. He's in Network at the Belasco. Hey, has the ghost of David Belasco been around? Isn't it like a haunted theater? Are you okay? Did I bring up a touchy subject?
I don't want to talk about it. I may or may not have had a personal tour of the actual apartment.
Oh, up on top.
At the top
Oh,
of the
nice.
Belasco Theater.
Yeah.
I'm not commenting one way or the
Okay,
other.
okay.
It's kind of eerie.
Okay, oh,
kind
okay.
of interesting. In my imagination, I would think that it would look like there's a kitchen, there's a bedroom, there's a fireplace, there's tall ceilings, and I do think there is some kind of vibe in there.
Wow.
Mr. Belasco was, he's an entrepreneur,
Yep.
and he loved the theater.
I think Howard Beale's going to be haunting that theater, though. I mean, he definitely is now.
I think David Belasco looks at Howard Beale and goes, "You're my guy. I like you. I like you." I hope so.
You know, your director, Ivo, the fantastic visionary director, Ivo van Hove, he's doing West Side Story. Yeah. Or, hey, Officer Krupke.
Hey.
There you go. They could do that. So it's kind of a small role, but maybe you can just show up and just do.
Oh, it's a small role. I don't know, Paul. Do you have
And
a
you have
fake
police-
ashtray for my fake cigarette?
And don't you have police experience as well?
I do.
Yeah, you actually
I
trained
do.
to be-
I was going to be a cop.
Yeah. So
And then I discovered acting.
I know.
And girls and all that stuff.
A lot of times it's girls that gets you guys into acting.
It's crazy. It's embarrassing, actually. It's like, wait a minute. I've made a lifetime decision based on that. That's insane. Yeah, no. Yeah, Hove.
Yeah, Hove.
He's going to do West Side Story.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
I know.
He takes big cuts. He takes big ideas.
I know. I can't wait.
Takes some chances.
Yeah, I love
I'm
it.
looking forward to seeing. And the movie,
Yeah, there's a movie.
Steven
being
Spielberg's
made. Yeah.
movie is as
At the same
being-
time, I know.
I think the play will actually come out before
Yes,
the movie
well, yeah.
will come out.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Is there room for two mediums to have
Sure.
the same story
West Side Story
at the
sure.
same time?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You know, a lot of people like to talk about how when you made it, right, in Malcolm in the Middle, that was
Oh,
sort
with
of
the air quotes?
That was your first.
Yeah.
That was your first really big moment.
Yeah.
You had actually been a working actor for what, 20 years at that point, and
Yeah.
pretty steadily working.
Yeah, I started working exclusively as an actor when I was 25. I got Malcolm, I think I was 41. When it
Okay.
happened.
Does it trouble you when people sort of like dismiss those years of work as sort of like, and then he finally made it at some point?
No, I don't pay much attention to other people's thoughts and
Right,
feelings when
right.
it comes to that.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoy talking to fans about how anything I've done affected them. That's nice
Right.
because you're communicating.
Right.
But as far as the gossipy end of it or things like that, I'm really ignorant towards that. I don't know. In show business and celebrities, I don't know who's dating who.
Right.
I have no idea.
I
don't
feel
really
like
care about that.
you're like just a really nice guy. Everybody really likes you.
You're a really nice guy.
You have a great personality, and you're great with fans, and you're great in scenarios like this. And I guess I wonder, when you hit it a little later, does it make you sort of a better person? Do you maybe see other people not being so nice in the Hollywood world? And does it?
I think in general, my career happened the way it was supposed to.
Yeah.
So I can't really say what it would have been like had I made more of a impact earlier.
Right.
I don't know. But logic would say that, your maturity level hopefully grows as you get older. And yeah, I think I've always appreciated, I mean, my proudest professional accomplishment still is when I was 25 and I knew that I had passed a threshold to become a professional actor, and that's all I did to make a living. That still is my proudest moment, because I think anybody who can honestly say, that's what I do for a living, I'm an actor for a living, you are the luckiest human being. So I think what makes me feel not obligated to go out and talk to fans and sign, take pictures and things is a desire and a gratefulness to be able to do that. And I've learned from other people. Jim Garner was a lovely guy, Dick Van Dyke, Tom Hanks, for sure, who appreciate the gift and good fortune that they have received and that I got.
It's important. So you seem pretty committed to Broadway.
I love it.
I love it. So do you think we're just going to keep getting a lot more of you on the boards?
I'm thinking like every 3 years
Okay.
is a possibility.
Okay.
Because it is
down.
exhausting.
Yeah.
And for those fellow actors who have not done the theater schedule, it's harder.
Yeah.
It's harder to do day after day on Broadway than it is to do 15 hours on a movie.
Yeah.
On a day. It really is. It's just, it takes more out of you. But when people ask, do you have more fun doing a play or doing a movie? It's definitely doing a play. Because the fact that it's live, the fact that you're feeding off the audience, you're communicating with them, they're also communicating back with you. It's an ebb and flow relationship, and you're feeling good, and it is that collective that is so fun. Because of the fact that you're there every day, we have grown to be an intimate group and depend on each other, and we really love each other. In fact, I'll tell you an inside story. Our associate director, Daniel Raggett, who works with Ivo Van Hove, comes every 3 weeks to watch the show, take notes. We have a meeting, he gives us the notes, and I love it because, yeah, we've been doing this for 5 months, but you're a human being and you can rest. And you know what his note was? He goes, "This is a great company. All you guys love each other, and it's very obvious." And we're all going, "Yeah, we're having a great time." He says, "When you get on stage, don't be up there to talk to a friend and go, 'Oh, I like Paul. Hey, Paul, come on.'" No, you have a disagreement with Paul, and you got to drive your note. And it was really something that was like,
interesting.
That's right. We've got to, we have to keep driving that message. And keep it sharp. You got to be leaning forward constantly to bring that audience along and tell them a story.
Interesting. Well, you're at the Belasco through June, making the Ghost of David Belasco proud. And then what does the vacation look like? How do you vacation? You deserve a really good vacation.
Thank you.
What does it look like?
Where are you sending me? Where is show people as a parting gift? I am going to shut down for 3 weeks. This is usually when I left all the way after doing 6 months there, I got sick.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I think my body was just, now we're really shutting down. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. I can't get sick now because I have to be on stage every day. The concept of calling in and having my understudy go on is not a reality to me. So I always wash my hands. I try to stay away from people who are sick and eat well, sleep well, and that sort of thing. But I'm going to shut down. I think I'll sleep for 3 weeks and go into hibernation. And
then we'll be looking for you in 3 years.
I think so, because I think as tough as doing Broadway is, it's a lot like, when my wife talked about childbirth. It's like, and you forget about the pain to connect to, the little baby. And it's like, no, remember how tough it was? And you forget, and you get excited about the next story.
Yeah.
And you get seduced.
Yeah.
And I do get seduced by good stories. That's all I want to be around is good storytelling. Whether that is me on stage or in the theater. I want to be seduced by good stories.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being
Thanks,
here.
Paul.
It's so great to get to talk to you.
Thank you.
Everyone, go see Network. You got to see this guy. It's pretty incredible.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.